All right, y'all. Let me get up close and personal real quick with y'all. Pause. Let me sit back and talk to y'all. I'm always doing educational stuff, playing music, not really talking, just giving straight value. But I just got some work done, producing some stuff, and I got off the phone with a homie, and we had a very interesting conversation that I've had with multiple other people on whether or not should you be doing the music thing full time, right? Should you be a full time musician? That was pretty much the synopsis of the conversation was that. And it's a pretty interesting thing, man. And I might do an actual informative video on this later, but I thought I might as well like just kind of graph my thoughts out a little bit and just share them with you guys because I know lots of musicians, some that tour, some that strictly do the church thing, some that do R&B, some that do jazz, some that do carnival cruises, some that work for Disney. I know multiple musicians on multiple different levels, right? Some who are actual artists, rappers, whatever, Christian rapper, all that, right? So I know about all the different lanes that you can take. And here's the thing that I've seen and I've recognized is the average person, right? Like, you have to know what comes with choosing to do a creative job full time. Like I've been full time for a while where I've been self-employed, and it hasn't just been music gigs, it's been other stuff that I've done, 1099 and everything, where I'm my own boss, and like it's not what you think it is. And I will say this, if you just like doing music for fun, you should not do it full time. If you also hold on, I think I got sound effects. Hold on, man. Let me see something, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right, we're gonna get crazy now. So if you're just doing music for fun, I don't necessarily think you should pursue it full time. If you are only playing at church on Sunday and you don't really practice or anything like that outside of that, you shouldn't really be doing music full time like that.
Yeah.
I would suggest you not. If your goal is not necessarily to be the best music artist, the best whatever in that industry, if it's money, financial stability, if that's kind of your thing, I'm not saying you can't achieve that through music, but if that's your main goal, bro, this look like a bra, man. I need to pull this down. Pause, bro.
Yeah. Man, you stupid.
But
Dumb, man.
Why are you gay?
I got a couple
says
things
I'm
down
gay?
here, man. I never got to use, bro. I'm about to use
You
them
are
today.
gay.
But you shouldn't, if that's the goal, and that's something I had to sit with. And the reason why a lot of musicians are broke, this is kind of where we're gonna,
Because
let's put it in
Gil,
perspective.
I'm gonna tell you
The
right
reason why a
now.
lot of musicians are broke is expectations, reality, and skill level, and also like clear vision. A lot of musicians really don't have that. They're just kind of floating. Some people will just be getting a $400 check every month, or a $500 check, or maybe even $1,000, or even 1,500, 3K even, which is rare, but and they think that that's cool. If you're choosing to do something full time, you have to do it to the max. Like them little checks, and you getting broken off $200 after the promoter gets paid and all the band musicians get paid. That's not real bread, man. And that's what I had to realize was, yeah, I have a dream of playing on big stages, touring with people, playing behind Ty Tribbett and guys like this, producing music with Kurt, like all these things that go through your head, like, man, I want to be able to do that, and touring and going, having all this stuff. You know what I mean by all that stuff, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I had to realize it's a pipe, not necessarily a pipe dream. There's two type of people. It's either you're a prodigy or you're not. And if you're not, that doesn't mean you're completely counted out, but there's still hope for you in a sense. So let's say, and for music purposes, I had to think when graduation time came and I wasn't living with my parents anymore, I was about to move out. I was like, all right, I'm giving music a lot of my time right now. So let's get things clear. Am I gonna do this full time and try to make a living off of this, or should I pivot and just do this as a hobby and a passion and a side thing, And I really thought about it, and I was like, okay, who's successful and who's not, right? And I was like, okay, the guys who are just playing at church on Sunday, playing in a club or a lounge, a hookah lounge on Saturdays, or jazz. CISONye wabjuna jazz. If you're an American, you're playing an American jazz or blues R&B stuff, right? And that's it. That's all you really do. You don't get broken off, no real bread from those things. The church is just giving you a little envelope, and I'm like, okay, That's what the average Joe's gonna get. That's not a prodigy. So if you're not a Corey Henry, if you're not a Jaden Arnold, if you're not a Herbie Hancock, if you're not a Corey Wong, if you're not a who else we got, man? A Jabari Johnson. If you're not Glenn, what's his name? Glenn Gibson. If you're not, who else we got, bro? Jacob Collier. If you're not these guys, then you're the other guy, which is me. You're a regular ninja, bruh.
Yeah.
You're a regular ninja, just like the rest of us. So I'm like, okay, I'm a regular ninja. What will it take for me? Because there are some people, Stick Taylor, a lot of these guys who they do good. They have brand recognition and all that. But I'm like, all right, they get to certain levels and they get to do that stuff that I'm thinking about that I want to do. That's like the dream end goal for a musician or an artist. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's gonna take a lot of time practicing to get that ability to at least be on the same stage. That's why I give a big shout out to B Beard University. He's a he's a great drummer, but a lot of these people, they've worked so hard to just be on the same level of these prodigy guys to where they can keep up with them. And if you don't put that amount of practice and time in, playing 2K, you know, you got 15 hoes, like whatever it is that you're doing, then you're not going to be able to achieve that. And you have to also, another thing you have to also accept is you're going to be broke. Like, I'm not saying there's not money in music, but you have to accept being broke for a long time. And don't even get me started if you want to be an artist and not a musician. Like, if you want to be a musician, a producer, that's obviously different. It's a little bit more lucrative, but still, like, don't get me started on the artistry people. But I'm talking about musicians and producers for the most part, and instrumentalists. You're going to be broke for a long time. The gigs are inconsistent, the money's inconsistent, and even if you do tours stop, tours end. Then what? Like COVID, don't even get me started on COVID. What other skills did these people, bro? A lot of the top people I know in the industry that, even if I know them from afar, were selling their instruments, selling their good gear that was worth thousands of dollars. They was selling them things for cookie crumbs, bro. Cookie crumbs. And do you want that to be you? Like, there's no possible way that if you couldn't gig, you would be broke. That's you failed. That's not, nowadays. You can't just have one source of income. And I don't want to get into all that financial guru talk, but that's literally the only way to survive. If you're not one of these prodigy guys, and here's the thing, Corey Wong, Corey Henry, a lot of these guys who do these shows, Jacob Collier, that one guy, Kofi whatever, these people who do these musical shows, they aren't just doing music. They're doing merch. They have document series that they put out. They do sponsorship deals with these music companies and these brands and this gear and all that. Sweetwater and Reverb and Nord and Akai and all that. They partner up with these people. I know you think that it may be a little corny to be recording everywhere, but you have to record what you're doing if you actually want to do something with it. Like, it's just where we're at now. Like, literally, even vocalists are starting to get drowned out by AI, bro. Like, it's getting to that point where you have to have multiple skills. And if you weren't able to gig anymore, and gigging in itself, I'm telling you, for the average person, if you're watching me right now, you probably playing, like, this is how niche down I am with who watches me. You probably play in a church. Give or take, you live in Florida, New York, Delaware, somewhere in the DMV. You may live in Boston. You may live in Georgia. I have a couple people that follow me from Texas, but you're probably mostly on the East Coast, and I have a little bit in the Midwest, and then a couple people in Canada and France also. But that's probably you. You probably are in a smaller town. You probably play in a church. They probably don't pay you that much, and you're most likely Haitian. Like 70%, YouTube and Instagram showed me my stuff. About 70%. It's slowly been changing. I've been getting more American and Spanish people following me, but it showed me 70 something, 60 to 70% is all Haitian. So, si Haitian ye, moi pas la pour un bon petit second. Another reason why un pile musicien pa gen kop, they're broke and they're down bad and they stay in the same position for years is they say, yeah, I'm doing a little bit of producing or I'm doing a little bit of gigging and I mix them both together and it pays my bills. Bro, the point is not to pay bills, bro. You need money to pay bills, and then you need extra bread on top of that. Yeah. Like just having enough money to pay your bills and then you don't really have no much extra bread after that is losing. Me, I'm not trying to do music just to replace my job to pay bills. I need to double, triple what I would make at a full-time job, like with multiple things, so that I can count this as, all right, bet, let's go, because it's literally no different than a job. Because I know there's some musicians that have been self-employed for 7, 8 years since I was a teenager, and I'm in my 20s now, and these ninjas still can't afford to buy gear outright, bro. They still can't afford to buy a MacBook cash, or they have decent enough credit to do half and half. Like, there's no way, if you're a full-time musician, you still can't afford gear outright, and you've been doing it for that long, bro, and you haven't upped your income. That's one reason is people think that they just have, they make enough to pay bills and they're good. Bro, I'm telling you right now, you're not good. That's not it, cuz. That's really not it, Jit. And another thing is, stop expecting these small programs. I don't care if it's a small church or even if it's a big church that just doesn't pay that well. Stop expecting that program to flip around and to do better or to pay more. That's like going to Walmart and expecting them to pay you the salary of something that's 2-3 times that position. Just stop going there. Just don't go there. If it's a Haitian, and unfortunately for some Caribbean people, if it's a Haitian church, give or take, not all of them, but on average, they probably not paying you, bro. That little envelope you get in, I ain't cutting it, bro. And I know some of y'all, and I ain't even gonna say, well, I don't got names to say, but I know there's a lot of people, because I see it. A lot of people, they just work at a warehouse maybe like 2 days out the week, and then they just use the money from the church to survive. And some of y'all, I understand you're still at your parents' house or whatever the case is, but I'm telling you right now, once you move out, bro, it's shark eat shark, it's dog eat dog out here, bro. And I'm not even kidding, man. Like, it's ruthless out here, bro. So you need to get your skills up. And yes, if you're gonna do music full time, are you willing to monetize it on all fronts? I'm not here just to play for fun. I understand, yeah, you gotta have a passion and a love for music and all that. I understand that. But I'll be damned if I'm not gonna monetize every single skill that I have and maximize it. Maximize it. I know some people who play some amazing gigs, never record no content, never sell any one-on-one like lessons on what they're doing. You never know who doesn't know what you know and who wants to learn from you. You never know. So you're wasting content, you're wasting material that can be used to monetize, bro. You're not maximizing. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're lazy, if you think just grabbing the envelope, leaving, or going on Instagram Live real quick with the P16 audio, no edits, no nothing, if you think that's cool enough, you're cooked, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, you're cooked. Because there's people out here with camera crews, editing. You've seen it. Everyone's stepping their game up. P16 audio damn near isn't even enough no more, bro. Like, you got to have a camera angle now. You have to have damn near the full mix, like the actual main mix. You have to damn near have that. Like, it's getting to that level, bro, where you got to, like, invest in your stuff, man. And another side note on the Haitian guys, bro. My brothers, man. My fellow brothers. Bamdino sa kunyala. You're competing with T-Bidens, bro. And if you go to, because I do have some Spanish friends, if you're at a Spanish church, you're competing with Hector and them, bro. Hector and them, T-Biden and them, T-Joseph, they gonna come here. They gonna get settled in. Even they gonna start charging at some point after they get settled in. We're like, dang, bro, it really costs to live here. So even they gonna get settled in and start charging. But in that moment, they will choose you or the cheaper option. And they'll choose that cheaper option. And that kind of goes back full circle to what I was just saying about don't go to a program that doesn't pay as much and you expect to make a living off of that. If they don't pay as much, dip or don't be there full time. Don't be there full time. Like, are you willing to, like, literally, if COVID was to happen again, I'm fine because I don't just gig. I don't just do gigs and that's it. I monetize different ways. I do a little bit of production. I do backup tracks, aux for people. I do custom stems for songs. I sell stuff, music software stuff. I also have other stuff that I do that's not necessarily on the internet that I won't speak on, but I have other stuff that I do. So I'm not just doing one thing. And if you're not good and if you're not them prodigies, like I said, if you're not Corey Henry, if you're not Jacob Collier, if you're not Glenn Gibson, if you're not, who else, man? I forgot the name of those twins, but there's these twins like Jasmine and Jalen Ausch something. If you're not those people, bro, you gotta work, bro. You got to work hard, bro. You have to. And this is by no means, this is not me telling you go get a job. I'm not saying that. I'm saying get you another hustle, bro. Cause okay. So for me, all right. Let me tell y'all something real quick.
Because Skip, I'm gonna tell you right now.
So for me, my parents are getting older. I'm the only son. I have 3 sisters. One's engaged, and then the other 2 probably like right behind that, finna marry off and all that, right? My parents about to get older. If okay, so for a lot of you guys who are doing jazz, or you just do your R&B gigs on Thursday, and then you go play at church Friday and Sunday, and you only make 2,500, 3,000, maybe 4 if you live in a more expensive spot. The money's a little different, like in New York or something, or let's say Cali or wherever. You make 4 or 5K off music, or if you're in all these normal places where most everybody else is at, you make 2,500, 3K. Maybe you go to Walmart 1 or 2 days because some of y'all have like part-time warehouse jobs or airport jobs, and then that's it. Let's say your parents is getting older. My parents is getting older. Do you think I can, when my mom is like, or my dad is like, yo, utande la junior, social security, al bap fin edem pe bil li mi anon ka bon monti ed on $200. Do you think I can tell them, oh, sorry, I didn't get enough gigs, or I did go, I'm buying couple la konya, but m'tal non performance samedi soir oui non club. Nou tap jwe bon ti kompa oui men, nou tap lage bon kompa, te gon fam tap gouye sou mwen men, m'buying couple la men, at least I got gouye on and I got a free shot of Hennessy. Can you pay bills with Hennessy, bro? Can you pay bills with a shot of Hennessy? And a lot of y'all be having them Dodge Challengers and Infinities and them car notes and that gas alone. Let's say if it was some sort of concert, right? After the promoter and everybody else and the band members get broke off, right? Because they, sometimes they have tickets and fundraising. When that's over with and they break every musician down, everybody, and you only get like $250, a good portion of that going to gas. You're gonna go get some food afterwards because you don't eat right. So you're only gonna have almost 100, give or take, some odd dollars left. What can you do with that? What are you gonna do with that? Like, what? Be honest with yourself. What are you gonna do with that? And then you go work 2 days at the warehouse. What you doing, bro? Like, let's be honest. And a lot of y'all, not me, but a lot of y'all be wanting to get married and have families, and that's cool. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying that's cool, but be realistic. You want to do that, and you're still living like a college post, that weird phase where you just graduated high school, you're figuring it out, your parents are kind of leaving you alone a little bit, they're not really taking too much money from you, they may tell you, pay your own this and that, but we won't ask you for too much. A lot of y'all live in that young adult limbo for way too long, man. Way too long. And I know some people right now that are 30, same spot since I was like 16, and they 30 now. And I'm like, yo, I don't want to be that. You go to an R&B festival for my American guys. You go do an R&B show. They give you a free shot of vodka on the house. They cover your drinks for the night. You get a girl's Instagram. You go on Instagram Live and you show everybody, to your 25 people that's watching, and then that's it. Hey, yo, we killed it tonight. Okay, what else, bro?
Yeah.
What else? Like, how long you gonna keep doing that? Are you selling anything? And here's the thing. Those people that are touring, they're not just touring. The ones who are smart about it, they're selling other stuff. Or when they're off tour, they have something else that they're doing. I'm not just doing music for fun. Obviously, I love music. It's a passion for me. I've been blessed to make money off of it. But I realized if I kept going down this path, I'm not Jacob Collier. I'm not Glenn Gibson. I'm not Corey Henry. I'm not these prodigies. I'm a regular ninja. So, all right, cool. How am I going to monetize? And I realized, all right, cool. I have a bunch of different avenues. It's not going to be easy, but I have a bunch of different avenues that I can monetize. So I'm like, all right, cool. If my end goal is to be financially stable, have some, not 100% freedom, but some sort of freedom, autonomy over my schedule. Because I be seeing reverends, pastors, bishops, top musicians who can't fully make a weekend of a revival or something, or they got to hurry up and fly back to make it into work the next day. I'm not trying to do that in my 30s. By no means am I telling you not to have a regular job. That I'm talking to the people who have the delusion that they think they're going to be able to do music full time without putting in no work or having other incomes. I don't want to do that. So I'm like, okay, let me work hard so I can have control over my schedule. That doesn't mean I want to work less. I'm gonna have to work. I've been self-employed for a long time, and pretty much since I moved out. Well, I'll say about when I dropped out of college, then I did it for a good amount of years. Now I do 1099 work with security and stuff, and then obviously I have all my other stuff that I do for my business. But still, like, you have to choose, bruh, because literally at that point it's either you're, because I don't want to be in that shoes where I don't have control over anything. If I want to practice my religion and I want to take 2 days off to go to a revival, I'm not gonna get Sally in HR or from whatever it's called, the scheduling person. Well, I can't let you off early, bro. Who is you?
Yeah.
Who is you? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So it's either you buckle up and you realize that, hey, I can't just get paid in Hennessy shots, McDonald's, the pastor takes me to eat afterwards, or, they just give me gas money. That's not going to cut it, bro. I'm sorry. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. So you have a decision to make, bro. This video is 20 minutes long. I was expecting it to be 8, 10, but we went over a little bit because I really wanted to talk to y'all about this, because I have this conversation with musicians all the time. And I see it with a lot of guys, bro. Like, their mind really isn't made up. Like, if you really want to do this full time, understand, who are you, what is it going to take, and what's your end goal. My end goal is financial stability and having autonomy over my schedule, my personal life, work life, and having some flexibility and mobility. That doesn't mean working less. That means working harder to maintain not benefit, when you're that privilege. Privilege is the word. You got to work hard for stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't want to be in the position where I have a family now and then I have to quit gigging and all that after the fact because I wasted so much time. So financial stability was my thing. I was like, all right, cool. I want to be a top musician. Obviously, I want to be world known. All this stuff that comes in your head when you think about if basketball is your interest. You wish one day, even to the point when you're like 27, and let's say you go to a basketball game and you're sitting there, you're like, man, if only the coach would turn around and point me out in the crowd and be like, hey man, LeBron has sprained his ankle. Put on a jersey. We still have that in our head of like, man, I wish I could be the best in this and but if that's not you, if that's not what's destined for you, or if you want to choose that, decide, is it that, or do you want what's attributed to it? I had to pick that. All right, that's a pipe dream for me. I would love to be touring with Ty Tribbett or with who else, bro? J. Cole or something, because he does live music, or Samuel Wilbees, whatever you want to, whatever your level of dream is, right? Big stages, big audiences, millions of views, popular music, all that, awards, obviously. But if that wasn't necessarily what I really, really wanted, I was like, okay, I would like those things, but what I really want is stability, my family, for me and mine to be straight, and for me to not have somebody else telling me what the hell I'm about to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a grown man. Ain't nobody gonna be, you know what I mean? Like, that's what my mentality was. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna incorporate. Now, this is the important part. Y'all listen.
Gil, I'm gonna tell you
Now
right now.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna incorporate music into my long-term plan of owning a plaza and putting my last name on there. Have my grandfather's last name on something. I'm not just trying to produce and make some music videos and produce some stuff and do some gigs at church so I can get an envelope and pay my bills. That's it. Nah, bro. I'm thinking way bigger than that. So if that's what you thinking, bro, and that's what you gonna get stuck, bro. You gonna get stuck like Chuck, bro. I'm telling you. So this video is just me kind of talking. I just got off the phone, and this is like the 4th conversation I've had with the musician in the past. What day is today? In the past, I'll say about like week and a half. This is the 4th time I had this conversation, and I was like, man, I really got it. So I might do a formal video where we do bullet points of what it does take, what mistakes not to make, what to do, what not to do, if you want to be full-time or not, or whether you should decide whether full-time even is for you or not. And if you are full-time right now and it still feels like you're not in the spot you want to be at. So if y'all want that video, we can go ahead and do that. But this is literally just me vomiting out what I was thinking, and you know, some of those conversations that we were having and some of the issues that I see with a lot of people. So if you rock with it, we'll do more videos like this. And obviously I have a Haitian audience, a good majority of you guys, the Haitian is, so we can do a Haitian version where we talk about things from our perspective, and then we can do just the regular version with, you know, all my my American folks, and we can just do it that way. So, you know, y'all, it's up to y'all pick, but these conversations need to be had, bro. Like another conversation of the whole, should musicians be getting paid? There's a lot of conversations that I think we should have and that I should bring to these platforms. So, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it piece by piece. We'll do it piece by piece. But appreciate you guys' time, man, for listening to what I had to say, and let me know down below what you think about what I said. Disagree, agree, where I was wrong, where I might have had a point at, where you see I might be wrong at, and let's just keep the conversation going, man. Appreciate y'all.